In my previous videos, I showed you my complete 60K budget, where my money goes after taxes and every single expense. Now comes the most important part, savings. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how I save $850 every month on a 60K salary. That's 25% of my take-home pay, building wealth. If you watched my budget breakdown, you saw $3,400 take-home and $2,427 in expenses. That leaves $973. Where does it go? Let me show you. $850 goes directly into savings every single month without fail. The remaining $123 is my buffer for unexpected costs we discussed in the expense video. This isn't just putting money in a regular savings account and forgetting about it. I have a complete system with multiple accounts serving different purposes strategically. Let me break down exactly where that $850 goes every month and why I split it this way instead of one lump sum savings account. First category is my emergency fund, getting $250 monthly. In my tax video, I explained losing $1,600 to deductions. Emergencies would destroy me without this fund. Emergency fund is for true emergencies only. Job loss, medical crisis, car accident, major home repair, not vacations, not new phones, not holiday shopping. True emergencies only always. My goal is 6 months of expenses in this fund. From my expense video, I spent $2,427 monthly. 6 months equals $14,562. Total target, at $250 per month. That takes 58 months, or roughly 5 years to fully fund. Sounds long, but most people have zero emergency fund at all, currently. I keep emergency fund in a high-yield savings account, earning around 4% interest currently. Not invested in stocks, because I need instant access during actual emergencies. Banks like Marcus Ali or Discover offer these accounts with FTK insurance protection. Money is safe, accessible within days, and earns interest while sitting there waiting. Once emergency fund hits my 6-month target, I'll redirect that to 50 elsewhere, maybe increase retirement contributions or start investing in taxable brokerage account for wealth building. Second category is annual expenses fund getting $200 monthly. Remember from my expense video, not everything happens monthly. Some costs are annual or irregular but predictable. Examples include car registration, annual subscriptions like Amazon Prime, holiday gifts, car insurance if paid semi-annually, tax preparation, medical deductibles, and other irregular but expected costs we know are coming. Instead of these becoming emergencies, I save $200 monthly specifically for them. Over a year, that's $2,400 sitting ready for these predictable irregular expenses. When car registration is due at $300, money sits waiting. When holidays arrive and I spend $400 on gifts, funds are already allocated and ready. This is called a sinking fund in budgeting terminology. You're sinking money monthly toward known future expenses. It transforms unpredictable spending into predictable monthly saving instead of panic. I also keep this in high-yield savings, separate account from emergency fund. Keeps money organized and prevents accidentally spending emergency fund on annual expenses or vice versa. Third category is opportunity fund, getting $150 monthly. This is my favorite category because it represents freedom and flexibility beyond just surviving month to month. Opportunity fund is for opportunities that arise. Career development courses, networking events, starting a side business, investing in skills, taking advantage of limited time deals on valuable purchases. It's also my fun overflow fund. Remember from expense video, dining entertainment gets $200. Some months, I want to spend more for special occasions or experiences. Rather than feeling guilty or stressed, I pull from opportunity fund. Concert tickets, opportunity fund. Weekend trip, opportunity fund. Professional certification, opportunity fund covers it without guilt or stress. At $150 monthly, that's $1,800 yearly for growth, experiences, and opportunities. It gives me flexibility to say yes to valuable things without derailing my entire budget. This also stays in high-yield savings for now. Once it reaches around $5,000, I might move excess into investments for growth beyond just sitting, earning interest. Now let's talk about the 401k contribution. In my tax video, I showed $250 monthly going to retirement from my paycheck before taxes. That's $3,000 annually into 401k. My employer matches 3%, adding another $150 monthly. So total retirement savings is $400 monthly counting the match. Why mention this in savings video when it was in tax video? Because it is savings. Just comes out before you see the money. It's paying future you instead of current you. Combined with my $850 take-home savings, total monthly savings is $1,100. That's over $13,000 annually going toward my future wealth and financial security building consistently. At 7% average returns in 401k over 30 years, that grows to over $400,000 just from my contributions. Add employer match, over $600,000 total. This is why I budget on take-home pay, like I showed in all previous videos. The 401k never hits my checking account, so I don't include it in monthly budget planning. But it's still my money, still my savings, still building my wealth, just locked away for future me. Understanding this difference between pre-tax and post-tax savings is absolutely crucial. So my complete savings picture: $250 emergency fund, $200 annual expenses, $150 opportunity fund equals $850 from take-home, plus $250 pre-tax 401k equals total $1,100 monthly. That's 25% of take-home pay in post-tax savings. If you include pre-tax 401k, closer to 30% total savings rate. That's wealth building territory right there. Now let's talk about how I actually execute this savings strategy every month. Automation is absolutely key. If you rely on discipline and willpower, you will fail eventually, guaranteed. Here's my automation system. Paycheck hits checking account every 2 weeks. Within 24 hours, automatic transfers move money to each savings bucket before I can spend it accidentally. I use multiple high-yield savings accounts, one for each category: emergency fund account, annual expenses account, opportunity fund account, all separate, all labeled clearly, all earning interest while waiting. My bank allows me to nickname accounts. Emergency fund labeled with 6-month target showing progress. Annual expenses shows upcoming costs. Opportunity fund shows current balance available for opportunities. Every payday, 125 auto transfers to emergency fund, 100 auto transfers to annual expenses, 75 auto transfers to opportunity fund. Happens automatically without thinking about it. That's per paycheck since I'm paid bi-weekly. 26 paychecks yearly means 2 extra paychecks. Those extra paychecks I split between accelerating emergency fund and opportunity fund for faster growth. The 401k contribution happens automatically through payroll before I see the money. Set it once through HR portal, never think about it again. Money disappears to future me. This is the pay yourself first principle. Before rent, before groceries, before anything else, I pay myself first through automated savings. What's left is available for spending guilt-free on expenses. Most people do it backwards. They pay bills, spend on life, then try saving whatever's left over at month. There's never anything left over that way. You will always find ways to spend. Instead, automate savings first. Adjust spending to fit what remains. This forces you to live on less, but you're building wealth simultaneously without feeling deprived, because spending is guilt-free within limits. I learned this from my tax video experience. $1,600 disappears before I see it, for taxes and benefits. I don't miss it because I never had it. Same principle with savings automation. Let's address the common objection. I can't afford to save $850 monthly on $60K. You're right, if you're not budgeting properly. Let me show you how I made room. Remember my expense video. I'm very intentional about costs. Rent $950 instead of $1,000 plus. No cable TV. Budget phone plan. Meal prep instead of takeout daily eating. Those choices alone save me probably $400 to $500 monthly compared to lifestyle creep spending. That money goes to savings instead of disappearing into convenience and lifestyle inflation over time. When I got my $60K job, I could have upgraded apartment, bought new car, increased dining budgets significantly. But I didn't. I kept expenses reasonable and banked the difference. This is anti-lifestyle creep strategy. When income goes up, expenses stay flat or grow much slower. The gap between income and expenses becomes savings that compounds into serious wealth over time. If you're struggling to save, go back to my expense video. Find categories to optimize. Can you reduce dining out? Switch phone plans. Cut unused subscriptions. Every dollar saved becomes savings. Also remember from my tax video, I don't have debt payments. No student loans, car payments, credit cards. If you have debt, that's limiting savings ability. Focus on eliminating debt first. Pay minimum on everything except smallest debt. Attack smallest debt with intensity until gone. Roll that payment to next smallest debt. Repeat until debt-free. Then redirect all those payments to savings. Once debt-free, your income minus expenses gap explodes. Suddenly you can save aggressively because debt payments freed up hundreds or thousands monthly. Debt is the biggest enemy of wealth building. Now let's talk about why 25% savings rate specifically matters for long-term wealth building and financial independence goals. This isn't arbitrary number I chose randomly without reason. Financial independence means your investments generate enough passive income to cover expenses without working. To reach this, you need substantial invested assets. Savings rate determines how fast you get there. At 10% savings rate, takes roughly 50 years to reach financial independence. At 25%, roughly 32 years. At 50%, roughly 17 years. Math doesn't lie here. I'm aiming for 25 to 30% long term. That puts me on track for financial independence in my 50s. Not early retirement necessarily, but freedom to work because I want to. Every dollar saved and invested today is a dollar working for you forever through compound growth. My $850 monthly invested at 7% becomes over $450,000 in 30 years. That's nearly $500,000 from just this savings alone, not including 401k. And that assumes I never increase savings as income grows, which I absolutely will over time. This is why I focus equally on earning more and spending less. From my budget videos, you saw expenses are optimized. Now I focus on increasing income through skills, promotions, side hustles. Every raise I get, I commit to saving at least half. If I get 5% raise, that's $3,000 annually. Save half, $1,500 to savings. Spend half, $1,500 lifestyle improvement. This balanced approach lets me enjoy life improvements while accelerating wealth building simultaneously. I'm not living like a broke college student, but I'm also not blowing every raise on lifestyle inflation. If I can increase income by 10k over 5 years while keeping expenses flat, savings rate jumps to 35 or 40%. That's financial independence in mid-40s instead of 50s. Let me share my tracking system for staying accountable to savings goals. I use a simple spreadsheet tracking each savings category monthly with running totals showing progress toward goals. Emergency fund tab shows current balance, target balance, percentage complete, months remaining at current rate. Seeing 90% complete motivates me to push through final stretch to full funding goal. Annual expenses tab tracks upcoming costs and current balance. Shows if I'm on track or need to adjust. Helps me plan major annual costs without surprises or financial stress later. Opportunity fund tab shows available balance and list of potential opportunities I'm considering. Helps me prioritize what opportunities are worth it versus just impulse spending in disguise as opportunity. I review this spreadsheet monthly when reconciling budget. Takes 10 minutes. Keeps me aware, accountable, and motivated. Seeing balances grow is incredibly satisfying and reinforcing good habits consistently over time. Some people prefer apps like YNAB, EveryDollar, or Mint for tracking. Those work great if you prefer digital tools. I like spreadsheets for customization and control over every detail myself. Choose whatever system you'll actually use consistently. Best budget tool is the one you'll stick with long term. Consistency matters more than perfect system that you abandon after 2 months. Now for the most important part, how you can implement this starting today. You don't need 60k salary to save 25%. You need strategy and commitment to executing it. Step 1. Calculate your actual take-home pay. Like I showed in tax video. Know your real monthly income after all deductions. That's your starting point for everything else after taxes. Step 2. Track all expenses for 1 month. Like my expense video showed. Every dollar. Can't optimize what you don't measure accurately. Tracking reveals where money actually goes versus where you think. Step 3. Identify categories to optimize. Can you reduce housing by getting roommate? Cut subscriptions, meal prep, switch phone plans. Find 200 to 300 monthly savings from expense optimization immediately. Step 4. Set up separate high-yield savings accounts for emergency fund, annual expenses, and opportunity fund. Open all 3, nickname them. Set target amounts for each one clearly with deadlines. Step 5. Automate transfers to each savings account the day after payday. Remove the decision-making and willpower from the equation completely. Money moves automatically before you can spend it. Step 6. Start small if needed. Can't do 850 monthly yet? Start with 400, then 500, then 600. Progress beats perfection. Small consistent savings beats zero savings forever. Step 7. Increase your income aggressively. Ask for raises. Develop skills. Side hustles. Promotions. Freelancing. The spending side has a floor. Income side has no ceiling. Focus on both simultaneously. Step 8. Commit to saving half of every raise or income increase. This balances lifestyle improvement with accelerated wealth building. You win on both fronts instead of just one only. Most importantly, remember why you're doing this. Savings isn't about deprivation. It's about freedom. Freedom from financial stress. Freedom to say yes to opportunities. Freedom to live on your terms. When my car needed unexpected repairs, in my expense video, I mentioned the maintenance fund. That's savings in action. No stress, no panic, no credit card debt. Just transfer from savings. That's the power of what we're building here. Financial resilience. When life happens, and it will, you're prepared. You're not scrambling. You're not stressed. You're financially stable and secure always. In my next video, I'll break down exactly how to increase your income on top of saving aggressively. Because saving 25% of 60K is great. Saving 25% of 80K is better. But for now, you have everything you need to start saving $850 monthly, or whatever amount fits your current income level. The principles work at any income with proper execution. Go back and watch my budget video for the big picture. Watch my tax video to understand take-home pay. Watch my expense video to optimize spending. Then implement this savings strategy. Drop a comment telling me your current savings rate and what you're going to do to increase it after watching this video. I want to hear your commitment and help keep you accountable. If you found this helpful, subscribe because I'm breaking down every aspect of building wealth on a middle-class income. Real strategies, real numbers, real results you can replicate starting today. Thanks for watching this complete series on budgeting and saving on 60K. You now have the complete system. Time to execute. See you in